Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. My name is Tony Kweki, and I'm a medical doctor by way of my background, and I'm the director of the Exceptional Couples Institute. And today we are going to be discussing an exciting topic. It is something that, if you can grasp properly, is going to change your perception towards how to build a fantastic marital bliss. So I need you to sit together, get your writing material, and see how you could learn from this powerful topic. Today, this is coming to you from, again, the Couples Institute, and the topic today is We Are Different. Okay, thank you. And then just, yeah, if you are on the call, I will encourage you to just mute yourself. Okay, yeah, thank you. So, just a brief introduction of what we do. Exceptional Couple Institute, ECI. We have a strong passion to mentor couples because in a short while, I have come to realize that the reason why we tend to have marital conflicts is not because we're bad people. It is because we don't have the required skill set to be able to manage our marriage. So that's the reason why we are quite interested in able to mentor couples. If you're someone out there that want to be mentored by our institute, we're quite happy for you to reach out to us so that we could help you in mentorship. Okay, then during this mentorship, we tend to solve marital conflict, as we all know that conflict in marriage is a major problem, and sometimes the things that lead to conflict are not quite clear to the individual involved. So one of the things we do is to help you understand how to manage this conflict, such that if conflicts are properly managed, you could live in everlasting marital bliss, which of course is the goal. Is that correct? Is that your goal? Do you want to have everlasting marital bliss? Then stick to this channel. You would get a lot of videos that will help you to live the life. Don't forget, subscribe for more videos. And I can tell you that it's going to be a fantastic time. If you look at my last video, I talked about how we are going to go through exquisite books written by different authors for us to discuss this subject of marital mentorship. You know, most of us, we get into marriage without really being mentored. I can tell you that being a medical doctor, before I started my first prescription as a doctor, I spent a minimum of 7 years in medical school before I could be allowed to practice. So that tells you that before you can get into anything, you need the required skill set. If you don't have the required skill set, definitely you're going to have problem. And I can tell you that this is one of the reasons why a lot of people that are married got a lot of problem. But if you can understand the required skill sets that are necessary for you to be able to deal with issues of marriage, I can tell you, you're going to have a wonderful marital bliss all the days of your life. So in my last video, you could check the last video. I said we're going to go through some exquisite books written by author. I must say that I'm not paid to talk about this book. I'm also not promoting this book for you to buy, but I can tell you that this book has been of immense blessing to me. So that's the reason why I decided to choose it. There are other books we're going to look at as time goes on, but we're starting with this one in the couples of weeks from now. I think that this is a foundational book that everyone needs to go through because it's able to lay the foundation before you can take off to other books. So I encourage you to get your copy and read with me. Let me say that again. I encourage you to get a copy and read with me. I can tell you that if you can go through that, you are not going to remain the same. And these are some of the materials that have been of immense blessing to me personally. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this book in a couple of weeks ahead. All right. Now, today I talked about the fact that we are different. So that's the first skill set you need to come to appreciate. We are different. We are different in terms of our physical appearance. Of course, you know that already. Between men and women, physical appearance are not the same. Just as our physical appearance are not the same, the way we relate to this world are also not the same. In fact, our psychological makeup are not the same. Oftentimes, we're quite aware that we're not the same physically, but we tend to think that your partner should be like you, okay? And that is one of the major reasons we begin to have problems. So you must understand that just the way we are different physically, we are also different psychologically. And in our day-to-day activities, it is our psychological interaction that causes a whole lot of conflicts. Okay, so for this, I have said that men are from Mars. If you look at the book I talked about earlier on, you're going to have more details. But just to make it clear to us, I'm just trying to make you understand that we are from different planets. We are from different planets. In other words, the way we live in this planet are not the same. Why men are from Mars, women appear to be from Venus. In other words, the life men live in their planet is completely opposite to the life women live in their own planet. Let me put it in a different way. In the world of the man, they live differently. In a world of a woman, they live differently. Let me give you a story of something I read in the internet some years ago. There was this gentleman that was sleeping on the bed, and the wife was also right there on the bed, but apparently he had moved to the edge of the bed and was burdened with a lot of thought. And the woman began to think in her mind that, well, he's angry with me. Why is he angry with me? He's not talking to me. What did I do? Did I offend him? Why is he there? So that was the thought of the woman. While the woman was thinking like that, guess what? The thought of the man is completely opposite. The man was just thinking right there that, why did Arsenal did not win this match? Why did they not win this match? Why did they not win this match? That was the thoughts of the man. So you can see two human beings in the same room having different thoughts regarding the same situation. Why the woman think that he is angry because of what she did? The man is thinking of the game he lost. So that's what happened. We are from two different worlds. And the modus operandi, especially when it comes to relationship, of what happened in the man's world is completely different from what happened in the woman's world. Perhaps this is the first thing I really want you to understand. This is the first thing I really want you to get as a skill set. As we begin to journey down the road, we are going to be learning what are the things that are peculiar to the woman's world and how to relate with it. and what are the things that are peculiar to the man's world and how to relate with it. Because if you don't speak the woman's language, you're going to have conflict. If you don't speak the man's language, or if you don't speak the language they speak in the woman's world, you're going to have conflicts with your wife. If you don't speak the language they speak in men's world as a woman, you're going to have problem with your husband. So that's the reason why we have conflict. So number one skill set that you need to acquire this morning is to come to realize that we are different. It is so important for you to capture that understanding that the man's world is completely different from the woman's world. So we have different way of living, especially when it comes to relationship and interacting. It is completely different. So in the man's world or in the woman's world, the way that we all live are also different. In other words, the way we talk is different. The way we understand issues are also different. In fact, I would say that we all have a different dictionary. Let me give you a good example. If, as a man, you say, I'm sorry to a woman, do you know how the woman interprets the word, I'm sorry? So once you use the word, I'm sorry to a woman, it means to her, I understand your feelings and I appreciate them. But if you use the word to a man that I am sorry as a man, do you know what he understands? What he understands is that I understand what you think and you're right. So we live in two different worlds as a man and woman, and the way we interact are quite different. It appears that the men have their own dictionary and the women have their own dictionary, even though we use the same words like sorry. But the meaning we attach to the word sorry as per men and women, they're quite different. I think, again, like we said, opposite attract. It was because of this difference, really, that we got attracted to each other. Remember, I said it appears that the men are from Mars and the women are from Venus. It is these differences between the two worlds of the man and woman that brought us together. So we got attracted because of the difference in physique of the woman, the difference in physique of the man. Fact that the woman has some features, you're quite attractive to the man. The fact that the man has some features, they're quite attractive to the woman. It appears that this kind of being has never been in their world. It's something different. They've not seen this person in their world. So when they saw the man, or when the man saw the woman, there was an attraction. So in other words, this difference of ours really brought us together. But when we began to live together, it appears that we seem to have forgotten our differences. And because we have forgotten our differences, each party wants to turn the other person to the way he is. So the woman has become a teacher that wants to school the man. Meanwhile, the man has become a fixer that wants to fix the woman's emotions. So the woman is trying to fix the man, and the man is trying to fix the woman. Because of this, we are now in a conflict. So that's the basic reason why a lot of marriages are in conflict, because we have not come to appreciate our differences and how we can manage them. Again, I want to encourage you to subscribe to these channels. I can tell you that if you spend a couple of the next few months, few weeks with these channels, it's going to change your marriage, because we're going to be talking about these differences and how we can manage them. The beauty of marriage comes up when you know how to manage these differences. I can tell you that if you don't manage these differences, you're sure going to have problems. In my first video, you can look at the next video. I talked about the fact that 50% of marriages in the first 5 years separate. 25% of marriages live in sadness all their life. They're not happy, but they're in the marriage. And they are there because, especially the ladies are there because of economic benefits or because of their children. And these are the group of people that you later found out many years later that they walk out of the man, especially if they are now economically stable or if the children have become independent in the future. So at that time, they find no reason to stay with the man any longer. On the other hand, most of the men, once they don't get that benefit, they just stay there and they begin to do some other things outside with other ladies. So 25% of marriages, especially essentially live in happiness. You can imagine out of 100 is only 25%, 1/4 of people that got married really live in happiness. And what is the reason why we have a large individual, about half of the marriages, living, become separated, or 25% of people live in conflict? This is because we are yet to appreciate our differences. So continue to follow us as we talk about these different and how we can manage them for our own marital bliss. And this is what we do in the Exceptional Couple Institute. We help you to understand your different and how you can manage them in terms of communication, in terms of dealing with the woman, in terms of dealing with the man, and then you can bring out the happiness that you are looking for in your marriage. Okay, again, if we are not aware of these differences, conflict will come up. And it's so interesting that the woman and the men are opposite, like I've said, and we tend to give each other what we don't appreciate as love. And the more you continue to do that, the more the two couples continue to go apart. You must understand that no one is wrong and no one is right. It's two different worlds that are coming together. Some years back, I was not in the country I am right now. I'm somewhere in Europe, UK specifically. Before I came over here, I have lived in Africa, Nigeria to be specific. After coming over here, I worked as a doctor for several years in Nigeria. Then I came over recently to the UK to also continue to work as a doctor. I understand exactly what it means for two worlds to clash. I can tell you that the modus operandi of medicine in Nigeria are completely opposite to modus operandi of medicine in the UK. I use the word modus operandi. The medical knowledge is the same all over the world, including here in the UK and in Nigeria. The medical knowledge is the same thing. Hypertension is hypertension. Cardiac arrest is cardiac arrest. So the medical knowledge is not different. But the modus operandi, the way the two different countries operate, is almost completely opposite each other. So that's what I mean that the man and the woman also live in different worlds, and they are completely opposite to each other. Sometimes you'll be lucky to get married to your partner or your wife or your husband, and you may have some similarity in terms of the way you do things. But when it comes to meeting the emotional needs, psychological needs of your partner were also different. Okay, so if we are not aware of this difference, we can become frustrated and conflict will result. And we usually expect our partner or our wife or husband to be like ourselves. And that is practically impossible. You are just trying to say, well, country should change to another country. It's like you're trying to say that the word of the woman should completely be like the word of the man and vice versa. I can tell you that the word of the woman, as she grows up before she got married to you, has been completely different. They live in the world where they do different things. They live differently. The modus operandi are quite different. And then the word of the man is also completely different. And now they've come together. And sometimes we have problems because we expect that the woman should become the man or should behave like a man, not become the man. We expect the woman to act or interact the way the man interacts. And we expect the man to interact the way the woman interacts. So this expectation become a source of problem to us. So again, just to reiterate the fact that we are different, you must understand that what we want is to live in marital bliss. And you can't live in marital bliss if you want your partner to want what you want. That's to say that you want your partner to also want what you want. You live in conflict. Or you want your partner to feel the way you feel. That is going to lead to a lot of conflict. So that's the main reason why we fight. And that's the main reason why we have a lot of marital conflict. And before you know, become frustrated. And the next you hear that they are no longer together. Okay, so stay with us in the course of this discussion for the couple of weeks. We'll be talking about these differences and how you can understand it and manage it for the best of your marriage. So we expect our partners to love us in a certain way. Men expect women to think, communicate, and react the way they do. That is practically impossible because women do not think the word, especially in the context of marital relationship. Okay, this is not to say that women do not think. Of course, they think. They have fantastic women that are leaders of the world, so they think. But I'm talking about in the context of emotional relationship like marriage. You know, once there is that marriage, and we need to bring the best acts of our partner. If you expect as a man, women to think, communicate, and react to the world you do, you're going to make an error. Or if as a woman, you expect the man to feel, communicate, and respond like you, you're going to have a problem. So just to make it very clear, in the context of marriage, that's the word. In the context of marriage, women tend to feel their word. So they want their partner to understand their feeling. In the context of marriage, men tend to think the word. So they understand, they want their woman to understand what they think. You see, this is completely opposite. And this is one of the reasons why we have problem in our marriage. So I like to take this quote from Dr. John Gray. You know, he's the author of the book we'll be trying to look into for the betterment of our marriages. He said, recognizing, and the word is recognizing and respecting our differences reduce tension and conflict in marriage? Take some time to think about that. What do you think about that? I need you to add on the comment section what you understand by this statement. Please go to the comment section and add a comment on what you understand by this statement. Recognizing and respecting our differences reduces tension and conflict in marriage. So just by a way of summary of what we've discussed so far, we've been able to say that we need to come to that understanding that we are different. Your wife can't be like you, and you can't be like your wife. We are completely opposite. We are from two different planets. The only way we can live in marital bliss is when we respect these differences. That doesn't mean that we will not make adjustments, you know. That doesn't mean that if you have an obvious character that is not right, you will not make adjustments. We're going to talk about all these things as we discuss along, how to communicate with your partner such that they could make an adjustment. How do you communicate with your partner so that you could change them? You know, some of these things we're going to be looking into them. But if you learn to respect these differences, conflict will be minimized. Okay. I need to tell you that you watch out for more on this channel. We've been able to cover today that we are different, and the fact that we are different, not because of we are bad, is because of who we are. We live in two different worlds. The way God made us, it is not our fault, okay? And recognizing and respecting these differences will help conflict to be minimized in our home, and then we could live in marital bliss. If this training and discussion has helped you, I need you to go down to the comment section and drop a comment what you have learned. Okay, watch out for more videos on these channels. I love you guys. Our goal is that you can be mentor such that you can live in marital bliss and avoid conflict as much as possible. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you all. I love you. I'll be back again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.